Welcome to How Hard Can It Be, where we bring in experts in different fields to learn about how hard it is to be in their shoes. I am your host, Carlos Guerrero, and today we have Davide Nicco, which is a senior project manager at Cutting Edge with over 8 years of experience. He has done hundreds of projects, and he's here today to talk to us about how hard can it be to hire the right contractor. Davide, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here today.
No, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm so excited to talk about that. For the past 8 years, I've been working as a project manager at Cutting Edge, and sometimes, when I start, I thought it was easier. But when I really see all of the juice and all of the effort that I need to put it to become a professional project manager, it really gets me to a point that I realize, wow, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Now, how did you start in the construction industry?
Basically, so I tell you a little bit about my background. I come from Italy, and I came to this country like 9 years ago. Where I was working as an electrician back in Italy. So that's how I started in basically construction-related field. And then when I came here, I started to work physically, installing drywall, do some electrical work, and that's how I start my career in the US,
Nice, beautiful, amazing.
Yeah.
And how did you transition from being a drywall electrician to a project manager?
Well, I met a great guy. His name is Carlos Guerrero. I don't know if you know him. But basically, he told me, what you're doing right now is all wrong. And I said, what is wrong? What I'm doing? Because you're using your head and you just have 8 hours a day that you can work, and that's not enough to basically bring more income or scale up your business or become the best project manager. You need to learn the skills on becoming a project manager. So that's what he taught me at the beginning,
Amazing.
Yeah.
So now, going to the topic on how hard can it be to hire the right contractor? Now, can you tell us a little bit more about that and what does that mean?
Yeah, as you told in the camera before, we did like about 100 remodeling projects myself, where I overseen it and manage it or manage other people. And especially here in the Miami market, we having our time to hire the right contractor. We having the hard time to find the right fit for our project, which is luxurious home improvement projects,
Okay. Now, when you say hiring the right contractor, do you mean like a general contractor? Do you mean what kind of contractor are you referring to?
Well, in this case, we are a general contractor, project management company. So we really hire subcontractor, which has like expert in trades like electrical, mechanical, plumbing, all of those type of trades. So hire the right fit for the right project is really a challenge. It's really a challenge.
Now, what does that mean, hiring the right fit for the right project? Can you tell us a little bit more about what is like, if I want to remodel my kitchen, or I want to remodel my house, or I want to build an addition, what would be the right fit for that?
Well, the right fit always depend on the type of, I would say also the budget that the client has, and we can provide different options to them. Like let's go back to a kitchen. If you want to do a kitchen, there are like so many type of cabinet maker here in Miami. So you need to decide a little bit more which one do you want to choose with based on the budget that the client has. Because I can also bring you kitchen from Italy, for example, from Germany. Or I can have local manufacturer that I can hire them to perform the work. So it depends really on the client needs,
Got it. So hiring a contractor, it could be hiring a kitchen cabinet contractor that they specialize in kitchens. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, but when you do a kitchen, it doesn't just come to do the cabinets. Like, for example, there are a lot of other things involved in a kitchen, like countertops, lights, plumbing. Sometimes we move the air conditioner duct because we're in the middle of the new layout of the kitchen. So it just doesn't it's like a domino effect. One thing's after the other to get your kitchen complete, So.
Okay, so we could then say that when you're doing a kitchen, I guess a major renovation in a kitchen, you're going to have to hire different contractors for the kitchen. Is that what I'm understanding?
Oh, yeah. At least like a crew of 7, 8, 10 people that they're going to work in your kitchen with different trade. So that's where we come our expertise to put them together in the right schedule to basically combine the puzzle like a Lego and put it together and get your kitchen done, It's not just an easy project.
Okay, so So you're basically putting a team together of different contractors to manage a kitchen, to run a kitchen. And what can I just call my an electrician or a plumber or a cabinet guy or a countertop guy, as you were saying? What can I just call somebody and have them?
Well, that's a great question because it's not that easy, because you call an electrician and you tell him to come to your house and all he sees is, I do the lights. That's it.
Okay.
He doesn't see the big picture. He doesn't see how I'm going to put together the kitchen, then make sure that all of the houses are in the right spot, that all of the lights are aligned with the new layout of the kitchen. So all of those information, they coming down to the project manager that puts together all of the project, that he has a bigger picture and a bigger vision of that, you know?
Got it. So that's where you come in as a project manager to know the big picture and to hire the electrician to follow your picture. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah. My job is basically a middleman between the client and the subcontractor.
Okay.
And as a middleman, I need to have certain skills that the subcontractor, they don't have.
Let's talk about those skills. What kind of skills are you referring to?
Well, management skills on subcontractor, management skills on client expectation. That's one big thing that we need to have it. Then, of course, we need to be great at listening to what the clients wants and then transmit those information to the actual subcontractor and make sure that those information are accurate.
And what happens when the information is not accurate?
Well, that's when it come mistakes. So, and then in this case, mistakes cost money. So,
What kind of mistakes are we talking about?
well, I had an example. That's when I started, you know, and I was new, you know, I happened mistakes, but I was trying to make a kitchen, and then the client told me, oh, I want a pantry that is 36 inches, and I didn't get that he wanted a pantry that is 36 inches, and I did it just 30 inches. And then guess what? I didn't have space for the refrigerator on the side to fit the refrigerator. So it's basically, I have to redo all of the cabinets, I have to bring back the electrician to move the point of the electrical outlets, and that's like a domino effect.
Okay. So it becomes like a nightmare after there's one mistake.
Yeah, a big nightmare.
And then what happens when there's mistakes? Let's say I'm the owner of the house. I hire you to do my kitchen, and this mistake happens. So what happens there? Like, do I have to pay for those mistakes?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I actually personally take responsibility. That's why it's so important, guys, when you're learning a skill of project manager, take responsibility. If you made a mistake, admit to the client, be honest that you made a mistake, and you will fix it. That's how I work. But unfortunately out there, people don't take responsibility. Let's say a owner hired directly an electrician and he tell him to do something, and that guy doesn't do the work that the client told him to do, and then he tells me, oh, you need to redo it. And the electrician is going to say, you know what, go f*** yourself. I'm going to leave. So, yeah, that's happening all the time.
So how do you avoid that?
Well, the way
An electrician to basically leave the job.
It's a 8-year process and still making improvement on what we have here in Cutting Edge. But basically, we follow a process. Basically, we identify the scope of work from the client. We know exactly what we wanted, what the client wants, and then we put it on a plan. After it's put it on a plans, we give those instructions to the subcontractor that they're going to give us the final price. After they agree on those price, we're going to execute the work. That's our process. And that's going to allow us to reduce mistake and avoid those mistakes and those bouncing back of responsibility that makes no sense.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys have a recipe for success. And obviously your recipes, obviously you've been doing this for 8 years. So you must be doing something right.
Well, yeah, definitely. After 100 project test and trial, we refine the process, you know, we accommodate it. And every time it's a new challenge. It's something new that comes up, you know.
Now going back to the topic, how hard can it be to hire the right contractor? So what would you say, who is the right contractor and who is not the right contractor?
Okay, well, the right contractor is somebody that have experience on the same project and the same scope of work that you try to accomplish.
Okay.
So if a homeowner has a kitchen and it is a high-end kitchen, you need to make sure that you use a contractor that has experience in high-end kitchen, for example. Same things happen with all of the trade, like electrical, mechanical. All of them, they have to have experience in the same scope of work. Another question that I always ask is, can you refer me previous client that you've been working with that they have the same scope of work that you guys trying to do it right now? So by having them give you new referral and you contact those referral, you can have actually some tips on how these people work. If they show up on time, if they are reliable, if they are responsible, and they get the job done.
Got it. Now, for you, what would you say is been the hardest 3 top things of hiring the right contractor in your career?
Well, in the market of Miami, one of the biggest things is having, I don't want to say control over them because I'm not a control freak person, but have them coming on time, work clean, and be responsible of their work has been the 3 things that are very, very challenging sometimes, you know.
And how do you go about when they're not, so do you hire them? Like, how do you know that they're not going to show up on time before you hire them? Because the whole thing is about hiring the right contractor. What can you do, or what do you do in your process or in your recipe to avoid hiring the wrong contractor, knowing that they're not going to show up on time, or knowing that they're not going to work clean, or knowing that they're not going to get the job done right?
Well, first, if it's a new, let's say it's a new contractor that I never work with them, I'm gonna fact find, I'm gonna test them, I'm gonna give him probably a small job, so I can see how we respond to that. Okay. That's my first thing that I do it. Then I get referral, like somebody that they have been working in the past. And then another things, a strategy that we use, we don't pay them up front. That's a big mistake that the client actually doing most of the time. They pay them up front, and then they expect them to come back and fix the mistakes that they're doing. But those people, they never come back, and that they have problem and they need to hire somebody else, you know. So all of these little things, we make sure that we accommodate those things, so make sure that we don't do those mistakes.
Beautiful. Hey guys, by the way, if you enjoy this information, please don't forget to forward this information to somebody that needs it, subscribe and like. In addition to that, we're actually looking for more experts to join our show. So if you want to be part of our show, please go to www.howhardcanitbe.miami, and then we'll see you here. Now back to Davide. Davide, so I understand the whole process on trying to qualify a new contractor to hire them. Mm-hmm. Now let's talk more about what happens, or why is it so hard to hire somebody. Like, for example, if I need somebody, right? Mm-hmm. Like, let's say I just need to remodel a bathroom or something. I'm just gonna pick up my phone and I'm gonna call somebody. They're gonna come to the house, give me a price, I'll pay them, they start to work. So how hard can it be? I mean, I don't get it.
No, that's great. It seems like a great reality, no? It seems like something happened like that, no? You just pick up the phone and they show up, no?
Yes.
We don't.
What do you mean? Tell me more about that.
Problem. Like I have friends, like, listen, they call me and they say, hey, but what's going on in this city, you know? I tried to call an electrician, I need to remodel my bathroom, and I need to change the lights, and I call 15 people. And like, they pick up the phone, somebody show up, somebody don't show up, and then after they show up, the few that they show up, then they send me an estimate that doesn't make any sense.
Hey, tell me a little more. What do you mean estimate doesn't make any sense?
Well, I told them to change 3 lights, and they put to change like 4 switches. Like,
but now is that like communication error? Is that they didn't understand what they needed to do?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, like, are great people that they work with their hand, you know, they try to put their meal on the table of their family, but they don't have those skills that I was referring before, like listening and really understanding what the client say. And when it comes to say something verbally, I tell you, hey, I want to change 3 lights. And what he hear is, I want to change 4 switches. And then he's going to give you a quote for 4 switches. And when he comes, he changes 4 switches instead of the 3 lights, then you get mad. You know what I mean?
Of course, if I needed 3 lights and they change some switches, it makes no sense.
Yeah, but that's what is gonna happen.
Okay, so yeah, because I always thought that, I just call somebody, I tell them what I want, they give me a price, and they start to work, and everybody's happy.
Well, yeah, in the beautiful world that everything were perfect, that's what is happening, but the reality is different, you know?
What other experience have you had like that? That it's, I guess, is more. It's a big. I mean, we were talking about 4 lights. Has that happened to you, like in a bigger project scale?
Yeah, in a bigger project, it happened to us in the past that we weren't using plans to get quote from the subcontractor. So when I work around the house with the subcontractor and I tell him, hey, I want to change those lights, I want to change those switches, I want to add these points or do some stuff. Then when he was leaving from the house, it was giving an estimate that it was completely different from what I asked him for, you know?
One thing I don't understand, like, I'm a homeowner, or I'm a project manager, I'm running this project. Mm-hmm. I have the project, I have the money, I'm willing and able to pay the money, I want good quality work. Why wouldn't somebody come to my house to give me a price? Or why, if they come to the house, why wouldn't they give me a proposal?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel it goes back, and this is again my experience through the years, it goes back to the fact that as a homeowner, you don't have the knowledge on the way you communicate the things with them. You don't communicate them that you need certain things, and you don't communicate them in a way that you make them move, basically, and comes to your house and gets you that estimate because you have a real project or something that is real, you know?
Can you elaborate a bit more about communication? Are you talking about because they don't speak my language, don't speak English, or?
Well, no, I don't think it comes down to the language part of it. It's really the language of construction.
Okay, what does that mean? What is the language of construction? Tell me more about that. That was exciting. Language of construction.
Yeah,
I never knew there was language of construction.
That's a new term, by the way, that I invented. But language of construction is basically I communicate with them to make them understand that I'm a professional, that I know what I'm talking about, that I can prepare. When they come, I'm prepared for them to show them what they need to do. And most of the time, like people, like clients, they don't know. I mean, it's they don't know. It's just they doing something else in their life, which is normal.
Of course.
And then when it comes to hire somebody that is an electrician, they don't have the skills and the that ability to communicate with them in a professional way. That's why they hire us, you know.
Now, how will you communicate in a professional way with these people? Like, because I'm professional. I feel if I call a plumber or a mechanical electrician or a cabinet guy, I'll treat him professionally.
Yeah, it's not that about that professional side of it. It's more like, okay, I have a real project.
Okay.
It's going to start in 2 weeks. I already have a full set of plans. For example, the permits are approved from the city. So they know that in this little world, they know that you are legit. They know that they know what you're talking about.
So it sounds to me that they're qualifying you to see if they spend the time to go see you.
Yeah, that's because they don't know you. In the end, it could be somebody that they never pay them, they never value their time, and they just try to use them for a proposal or something for an insurance purposes or something like that. It's like everything goes back in life. If you don't have the trust and you don't know each other, most of the time you don't show up, you know? That's how it is. So as a professional, as a project manager, even if there are new people that we hire, we will be able in a short period of time to build that trust because we speak the same language with them, you know?
Construction.
Which is construction language.
I love that, construction language. Okay, yeah. So for me to be a successful project manager as yourself and to hire the right contractor, I need to learn the construction language.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, that's just one tip, just one thing, you know? There is so much more on that.
Okay, so let's continue with that. So you make the call, you spoke the construction language, you told them that you have a project, that you know what you want, and I guess they feel that they're not gonna waste your time. So boom, they go to your house, right? They actually show up on time, and because you actually call a professional,
Well, I stop you right there.
Okay.
Before they even show up, on my way there to the house, that the same day that I have the appointment, I'm gonna make sure that I call them and make sure that they show up on time.
Okay, so basically you make the call, you make the connection with the contractor.
Mm-hmm.
You do a follow-up call to confirm your appointment.
Yes.
What happens next?
Well, we come to the house, or we come to our project, and then right there, I show them, I continue whatever I was just telling them over the phone. This is the project, this is the scope of work. I usually prepare already a write-down scope of work.
Okay, so you already have it written down.
Yes,
Okay.
I already have my written down scope of work.
Like a checklist.
Yes, a checklist on what needs to be done, divided by room, and then another tips that I give you guys, make sure that you have plans, architectural plans or construction plans that are different in between the two.
What's the difference between those architecture and construction plans?
Well, the architectural plans is just for permit purposes. So basically you submit those, the architect is producing the plans, you submit it to the city so you can get a permit and you are able to work in your house. But those plans, they don't have that many details to give it to the workers to be able to perform their job. So that's the difference between the two, the architectural plans and the construction plans.
Got it. Okay, so then they come to your house, or they come to your project. You give them the checklist, you give them the plans, you walk them through the project. What happens next?
What happens next? They leave the house, and then they get busy.
Exactly. I wanted to go to that because you mentioned before that a lot of times you have to follow up with them to get a price. Again, if I'm the homeowner or I'm the project manager and I'm showing them that I have a set of plans, that I'm real, that I communicate well, that I speak their language, what are the chances that I'm gonna get a proposal?
Well, the chances that you're not gonna get the proposal are high. The way to avoid it is basically when they leave the house, because of the fact that they get busy. There are one man showing up. They are working with their hands. So what they need to do is they need to work the whole day, and then when they go home at night, most likely is when they prepare the estimates. So what I do, I usually wait till the night, and then I remind them at night, because they are sitting on their couch, relaxing with something, I remind them that I need an estimate for my project. And this is consistently follow up with them till I finally get the proposal,
Okay, perfect. So now you get the proposal. What happens next?
Well, before I look at the price, I want to go back and again check the scope of work. Because most of the time, whatever I send as a checklist, whatever I send as a plans, and whatever is the estimate, they don't reflect the two of them.
Because they didn't listen? Is that what you say for it?
Because they didn't listen, because they didn't understand what you were asking, or something.
That is so true what you say, because a lot of times I feel like I speak to people and I tell them what I want, but then they deliver something different. So I guess this is kind of very similar, that you communicate with somebody what you want, but then when they say your proposal, it's not really what you asked for. And then you have to be very aware of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming if I was not an expert and I don't read the scope of work, as you mentioned, and I hire them, and then they do a different job than what I hired them, I'm going to be very disappointed, and I'm going to be upset at them. But at the end of the day, I guess as a project manager, it is my responsibility to take responsibility. Like you said before, you need to learn how to take responsibility for yourself.
Yeah, that's correct. And that's why I go one step back before I even look at the price. I really gonna match the scope of work, compare upper to upward.
That is so valuable.
Yeah.
Information to really check the scope of work before you look at the price. Because like me and other people, as soon as I get a proposal, I'm gonna look at the
Yeah, the client just it costs like $10,000. Oh, okay, it's great. What I have sounds great. Let's start.
Yeah.
And then when they start, then they go back to the issue what you're saying. Then they do certain things that were not supposed to be done, and then they have a problem after, and they never get back the contractor to try to solve this issue, because the people then they don't want to take responsibility.
Now, when you're looking at the price, like let's assume I have three proposals in front of me. I have a $10,000 that you said, I have a $12,000, and I have a $20,000. Obviously, I'm gonna go for the $10,000 one, right?
Yeah.
What do you do then if the prices are so different?
Well, I mean, you need to also understanding the type of structure of the company that they have.
Okay.
Most of the time, like if it's just, as I say, one man showing up and do the work, it's one price. If they have a structure, they have a company, they have offices, they have overhead, the price change and might go up. So that's one aspect of that.
What is the I guess the pros and cons of going with a one-man guy with a guy that has an office and overhead?
But it also depending, again, it goes back to depending on the scope of work that you have. If you just need to change one light, if you have one guy that is just one man showing up, you might be able to accomplish that with him and you save some money. But if you have a major project like the one that we have, you need to make sure that you hire the company that has enough manpower to deliver it, the project, you know?
So I guess it comes down to time.
Yeah, it comes down to time. Every time it comes down to money and time, you know? Those are the two things that are very important.
Money and time. I like that. I like that. And it's true because a lot of times I'm willing to pay, but I want it done now, or I want it yesterday. I don't want to wait. Like Amazon. Amazon, you pay, you get it the next day. So that's why Amazon's doing so great.
Yeah.
For our audience out there, tell us a juicy story. Something that maybe happened that you do not wish that to happen to anybody by hiring the wrong contractor.
Yeah, that's a great question. It happened to me when I begin, one of the first projects that I had, I hired a plumber. And again, I didn't know all of this process, all of the tips that I just gave you, I didn't know. So when I hired him, I told him, hey, we need to cut the floor and change all of the drain. And he told me, yeah, no problem. This is the price. And he gave me, I don't even remember, but it was like $5,000. And I say, great. I'm way below my budget. I can hire him, and that's great. So I put him on the contract. He started the work. And then the day I show up into the house, he did opposite of what he's supposed to do. Like, let's say there were 2 bathrooms on the left, 2 bathrooms on the right. I was supposed to do the bathroom on the left, he did the bathroom on the right.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So
what happened?
he demoed all of the bathroom on the right side that were not supposed to be demoed.
So he demoed the wrong bathrooms.
He demoed the wrong bathroom.
Wow. Is that lack of communication, or I mean, what do you call that?
Is that what happened in that case is basically I spoke with a person, and then the day that they show up for work, they send somebody else. They send a helper. And the helper, between them, they didn't have communication. So instead of understanding, yeah, you need to demolish the bathroom on the left, he demolished the bathroom on the right.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
And what happened after? How'd you guys fix the problem?
Well, you know, the first things I did, I pick up the phone, I talked to the client and said, you know what, we did a big mistake. I assume my responsibility again. I did that. You know what? I was lucky. The client decided to do all of the bathrooms.
Oh wow, that's a win-win situation then. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it worked out for you guys.
It did. But imagine what a big headache if somebody said, oh, you need to pay.
Yeah.
And it was like a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 mistake, you know?
That's
right there.
That's a big mistake.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know, it's so funny how hard can it be to hire the right contractor? But it sounds like there's a process, and it sounds like there's some science to this that is not so simple as I would assume or I would have hoped for. Now, in your case, what would you recommend to people like that I don't speak that construction language? I want to basically get the job done right. I'm willing to pay for the job. Can I hire just the contractors, or should I hire a project manager?
Well, I mean, it goes back to depending on the size of the project that you have. If really something really small, you might don't need a project manager. But when it comes to a full remodeling, when it comes to addition, when it comes to something more complex, I 100% suggest for the homeowner or the client to put the money on the project management side of it.
Yeah. I think I agree with that just based on what I heard today. It's just a smart thing to do, and I could, if I'm the homeowner, I could just continue living my life, do what I know what to do, and let the experts handle the rest.
Exactly.
Well, Davide, it was great having you here today. Is there something that you want to tell the audience that any other tips, any additional stuff? How can you help them if they need to get in contact with you?
Yeah, no, thank you so much to having me here at the podcast. It was amazing and I have so much fun. We are launching a new program, 8 weeks program for coaching and mentoring people that they want to learn about construction. They want to learn the language of construction. They want to learn how to remodel their home. And so we teach them and coach them how to do that successfully without making any mistake. So if you want to learn more about it, contact us at www.homeconstructionmentor.com.
Well, that was great. Thank you so much. And
how hard can it be?